Good afternoon. This is me, Sanjay Koul, a trainer, a teacher, speaker, coach, and a business entrepreneur with a new episode of The New View. The New View is a program which comes on every Sunday at 4 p.m. with a new expert speaker every Sunday. We have been hosting this event for almost 14 weeks now. And those who have been with us, they know it was earlier in a very close environment. And from last episodes, we are in an open live platform, which is hosted on Facebook and YouTube channels of Oslas Consulting. I do hope you have a wonderful Sunday today and happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you. As always, I am joined by my co-panelist, Mr. Harish Mehta, who is a business and executive coach. Welcome, sir.
Good
Happy
afternoon.
Ganesh Chaturthi.
Good afternoon in India, good evening in Australia, and good morning in London, and early morning in USA. It's a great program that you have initiated, Sanjay, and I'm so happy and proud to be associated with you on this program since inception. And I know we are creating a great community together of some knowledge sharing by some great people, individuals from India and overseas. So happy and proud to be with you and looking forward to a great session today with our guest speaker.
Awesome. Thank you for your guidance and support and being always there whenever. And our association has been growing since we did together. We met in John Maxwell certification in Orlando in 2016 August, and that's how things are happening.
Yeah, it's
So,
4 years now. Brilliant.
It's 4 years. Yeah, really, it just flew. It's precisely, we are in August 16 and we were till August 24th, I believe, in Orlando. And exactly after 4 years, we are still on and going strong. Okay. So today's guest speaker, the expert panelist is Bharti Punjabi Naik. Today, she'll be talking on procrastination. We have heard this word procrastination. And if we talk to few people, a lot of people actually are not really aware of what actually procrastination means. It is a wonderful word. So when Bharti spoke about that she's going to speak about procrastination, I said, yes, that's the topic we should be talking about. Because a lot of people get confused with whether it is a negative word, whether it's about time management, it is about something. Okay. And so that made me, that actually prompted me, yes, we should talk about this. It was a very good thought about that. Let us talk about procrastination. And the punchline which Bharti shared with me was procrastination is not about time management. So guest, Bharti is a very passionate speaker, and she has been into this industry from almost last 16 years. She is a relations strategist. She works on relationships. She has worked with more than 60,000 people on this topic. She is a passionate NLP coach. She works with professionals, sports people, and even students. Bharti has done her master's of science and human development and family studies. She has her own company, Inspire Human Potentials Private Limited. She's a blogger, and she's about to be launched writer, and she's working on 2 books right now. Bharti has been awarded very prestigious Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All by Women Economic Forum in 2018. Wow, that's a lot. And I am 100% sure that today the audience are going to get benefited by Bharti. Sir, let's welcome Bharti. Welcome,
Hello,
Bharti.
Welcome,
Sanjay.
welcome, Bharti.
Thank you so much.
Great pleasure
Yes,
to welcome you on this platform today. And I'm so honored that I knew Bharti 7 years back.
Wow.
yes,
And
precisely.
we got together again a couple of months back, and I was so proud to know the strides she has made in the last couple of years. I remember when we met, she was learning the ropes, and
Yep.
today she's teaching people how to hold the rope. And I'm proud that she's on stage with us today and would love to learn from her how she has evolved over the years. And I'm so very proud and happy to have her with me and you today on this platform, the new you. There's lots to learn from her, and I want the audience to please lend your ears and eyes to her. She deserves much more. And we're looking forward to listening, learning, and absorbing today from her the skill set that we need to develop in each one of us who is here today and those who will listen to the recordings for a
Yeah.
long, long time. So here you are, our Bharti. Go ahead, it's all yours.
Great, great, beautiful. So, Bharati, the typically I would love to start with the session. I just gave some basic introduction about you. So, before you
Okay.
take on today's subject, procrastination, I I'm sure that audience will love to know a little bit more about you. If you could
Yeah.
just say a few lines before you start.
Okay. First, thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Harish, for giving me this opportunity to share the experiences, share the knowledge that I have, and the beautiful platform that you have, the new you, for all the people that are watching us right now and even they watch it later. So it's an amazing platform, a very, very great initiative. So thank you so much, Sanjay and Harish, for bringing me here. Uh, I know you have introduced me already. Giving little bit of background, I'm a relation strategist, and my area of interest lies in relationships, understanding relationships uh, uh, about each other, about people, how we connect with each other, how we connect at a very different level, and we have certain relationship codes. When we understand those codes, that is where the connection gets deeper. Otherwise it's always at a surface level, so that's where my interest lies. And understanding relationship dynamics at a strategic level is more important than understanding only at an action level. So that was what my work is. And procrastination, if I can jump to the topic,
Sure.
would it be okay, Sanjay?
Oh, of course, please, all yours.
Okay. Procrastination, when I started researching about this subject, the reason why I started researching, because over these years into learning and development space, and also becoming an entrepreneur, starting my entrepreneur journey around 10, 11 years back, I had lot of such dreams, aspiration, goals, and there were certain milestones that I wanted to achieve. And as Harish rightly mentioned, I was learning the ropes, and I started picking up things one by one. Over these years, I realized that however strong efforts I would put, or I would learn the ropes, or I would go and learn from some of the master trainers or coaches, there would always be something that would keep on delaying. There would be always something that would keep on getting at the back seat. And for quite a while, I was thinking that it is something to do with how I manage my time. It was something to do with uh, my aspirations or dreams. And as an entrepreneur, also managing the house, managing the work, the children, everybody. So I thought that let me manage everything in a very specific way. So I attended a lot of uh, courses, watched videos, looked at books, and to understand where the management lies. And all these planners and all the books that were available, they were all talking about time management. They were all talking about you need to manage yourself, you need to understand this. But there was one thing that was always bothering, despite of putting everything in place and doing it bit by bit as per the time, in relation to time, because that's how we are wired. Everything that we do, we always look at in relation to time. So I kept on doing all these things. But there was one thing that was bothering me, and I came up with this word that started bothering me, which was procrastination. And I started understanding this subject at a deeper level for a very simple reason, because uh, I believe that I'm a biggest procrastinator and I delay things. I keep it at the back burner. I procrastinate on many, many aspects, many, many initiatives that will really help me, my career, my business, and even at a personal front. And being a big procrastinator, it started bothering me at a different areas of my life, started hampering the relationship, started affecting the health, started looking at other areas of my work. And I realized that this is not going to work in any direction. Hence the research, hence I started getting deeper into procrastination. And then there was big thing that I started uh, getting evolved about it, that what exactly this procrastination is. uh, and it is also sometimes very casually termed as laziness, where I would just want to make a little uh, help people understand about it, that laziness is not procrastination. When you say you are lazy, you you just want to laze around, you just want to do nothing but sit without any emotional baggage, without anything that bothers you. If it is bothering you, if you are doing nothing and you are just say watching some web series on internet, or you are um, just passing your time with your friends or with your children or with anybody that you want, if you're doing that, but that time and the space that you give, if that is bothering you, that means that's not laziness. That means you have the guilt, you are regretting about spending the time, you have the guilt inside you, that oh my god, why did I spend that time? I should have done it something meaningful, I should have done it something fruitful or something more productive. That's what the words that comes up. And if those are the words that are coming up, that means that's procrastination and not laziness. So many a times we very casually term it as laziness, which is not. Procrastination has a very, very deeper association, a very deeper connection with the emotions. And let me be honest, and if I have to ask this question to all of you, we are I'm sure all of us procrastinate at some point of time. We would have procrastinate something in our life. It could be any area of life. So for example, if you are an entrepreneur and you are very good at business, you are managing your work very well, you are managing your relationship very well, there will be one area, might be health, where you are procrastinating about exercising, about maintaining your diet, about being mindful about how do you want your health to be. Or if you are focused on two or three areas, there will be one area that you might be skipping or might be overlooking it. And that's where the procrastination comes in. And that's where we strive a lot to balance. So, procrastination is one such bad habit. I'll put it as bad because if it is affecting you, if it is affecting your emotions, your thoughts, and eventually the consequences are seen in other areas of life, if that is what is happening, then that is something that you must address, something that you must take care, something that is worth of your attention, and it really needs your attention. So, when you say that procrastination is not a time management issue, uh, I started researching about this, came up to a lot of articles, read Harvard reviews, and also read some of the very good books, which also stated that when a person keeps any task at the back bench or keeps any task at the back burner, there is something that is associated with that person, and that association is your emotion. you have emotionally got associated so much to that task, that project, or it could be to the entire work, that either you find it as a very, very big, major thing and you don't want to do it, or you find it like a very easy, simple task, which you find it too easy to take it up and do it. So it depends upon what your programming is, how your thinking style is. There are some people in this world who likes to take up complicated tasks in the first place and take it as a challenge and wants to do it. So for them, if that work is very easy and very, very small task, they may not do it, and that might be the back burner, and it may keep on delaying, and eventually it comes up as a big thing. So for example, if you want to if you have an electricity bill or a telephone bill, now it's a very simple task, it's an easy thing, and now you can easily do it over the phone. So it is nothing something which is great as a task. And there are something more challenging work, there are something more challenging things at your workplace, and you are more focused there. And you keep this part as a side and you said, okay, I'll do it later. And that later comes at the last moment when the deadline happens, and that's the last day to pay the bill. And even that skips sometimes, and then you increase those days, and sometimes it comes up with a penalty or an interest, and then it bothers you, and then you start regretting, feeling bad about yourself, feeling guilty about yourself, that why did not I take that time and date into consideration. The reason is not about time, the reason is not about the date, it is about what did you associated yourself with that task, with that work, with that project. That would matter. And because your association is uh, the kind of image that you have inside you about that work, and hence you will either pick it up or you will not pick it up. That's what will happen in procrastination. Another example I could give is when we procrastinate about a particular task. If it is a very simple, easy task, there are a lot of smart people in the world who wants to do everything in a smart way, like easy, do it like this, finding shortcuts, finding some ways where I don't have to put a lot of efforts, I don't want to put a lot of hard work, but in a very smart, easy way, I can do it. Now, for them, if the task is given in hand, they will find out easy ways to do it. But the problem with them is they will do everything till there is a trigger, till there is a kind of deadline or something that comes up to their nerves and they say, oh my God, now we will have to do this. Again, the reason is because of the association, because of the emotion that they have attached with. So when you attach your emotion with any task or any work, you make it easy or you make it difficult. So when I'm talking about few years back, maybe a couple of years back, when I would design my goals for a year, I would always put a long list of goals, and I will put it everything in a very nice handwriting that I would want to achieve this in this year. And similarly, all the years I would do it. And at the end of the year, I would sit with that same goal sheet and I'll say, oh my God, out of maybe 10 or 15, I was barely able to achieve 2, 3, 4. So it is something like 20%, 80% I couldn't achieve, and that would bother me. And then for a few days, I will go into the procrastination loop, which I call it loop of being regretting the whole year. What was I doing the whole year? Why I didn't do it? Going into the guilt mode, and then spilling out that bad emotions, the reactions to whomsoever comes in my life. So whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether they are colleagues, partners, and it will keep on going over and over again, unless and until I realize that it has nothing to do with people, it has nothing to do with the environment, it has nothing to do with the time factor. It has more it has more to do with how I am associating that goal. So the what used to happen with me is the moment I'll put up my goals, in my diary and I write all the goals of the year, the goals will be like a very long list. Now that's nothing wrong in that. You can do this. And after that, I will put up the action items vis-a-vis the timelines. That in this month I will finish this, in that month I'll finish this. Again, the list will be very long for obvious reasons. And then the resources that are needed. So I'll keep on doing this task. I would go to Amazon and buy the best of the planners so that I can write. And I would be very religiously, I would write everything. What I realize that when I am doing this activity, uh, either I get overwhelmed that I have so much on my platter and I have so much, I have so little time. And in that overwhelming feeling, in that overwhelming state, I would sit and just do nothing. So my association with the entire goal sheet would be an overwhelming feeling. The second way of looking at it was when I'll make this goal sheet and I look at it, I will go into the feeling of happiness. For me, the happiness was that, wow, I did such a good work. I did such a good task of putting all the goals in the nicely manner and also working out, planning, strategizing it, putting all the action items, the resources, whatever. So that entire process, that entire exercise of filling up the goal sheet and everything is so good that I'll be happy, and I'll be happy in for a few days because I would feel proud of myself that I did this work and it is really good. But there's no action in that. There's nothing about it. Again, it will start bothering me, and I will go back into the procrastination loop of feeling guilty about it. Now, again, the emotion of guilt, being guilty, is a useless emotion. It is useless because neither it takes you forward nor it takes you backward. You are stuck in that guilt mode. So, and it's a negative feeling. So, if you have to come out of anything which is negative, you need to either go to a neutral state and then go to a positive state. So, what I would do is to come out of this emotional state, I would distract or divert my attention. I would change my mental state, emotional state, and do something else. So, to come out of a guilt emotion and be into a happy or enthusiasm or motivation kind of state, I would either do some tasks, do some activities like watching some series or picking up a book or maybe doing some craft work, maybe doing some painting work, so that I go back to the neutral or a happy state and then I start taking actions. That also did not help me either because I kept on going into the loop of procrastination. The actual work, the actual task was not happening. And that is where I was like, there came a point in my life where I was like, enough. It is bothering me so much, and I can do much more. I have so much that I can share. There are so many things that I really, really want to share it to the world through my blogs, through my videos, through my books, and through my podcast. There's so much that I can share, and there's very little task, little work that I can do. And it is only because of my maybe stupid habits, maybe stupid reasons, but I need to come out of this because there's a higher purpose that I need to serve here. If I'm here on this earth, there is a reason, and I know there's a reason. And if I have to serve that purpose, and if that is one habit that is coming in my way, I must get rid of it. I must come out of this, break this, so that I can share more, I can contribute more. And that was the main driving force that actually led me to all the research, led me to uh, find out more about it. And I realized that everything is about how I am associating myself with the task, how I associate myself with the work. A very simple example is uh, I remember when I was in school, I would love math subject, I would love English, science was my favorite subject. There was one subject that I would be okay, I would like not so inclined to study. And I don't know if you guys can guess it, but that was the subject history. And I would always keep it history as a side thing. I said, okay, when there is a very compulsory, mandatory thing that I must pick up to give my exams or test, that's where I'll pick up and I'll just study and I'll appear for the exam. So that's what used to happen with me. And over over these years, I realized that why this used to happen with me, why I did not like the subject history so much. Maybe it was not taught in an interesting way. Maybe I did not paid that much attention to the stories and the learnings that the history is offering. Maybe there were uh, so many interesting elements that were there in the history, which now when I look at it, I feel like why I didn't pay attention at that time, why I could have really done wonders in the subject, because now it is so much of interest, and there are so many good things that we can learn from the history, from the civilization, from how the human race was evolved. And those things made me realize that the reason why I didn't like this subject, and I don't know, maybe students can relate to me, or maybe even you guys can relate it to me, because whenever I think about history, there would be either boredom, or there would be a kind of a weird kind of a feeling that was associated with the subject history. And if I have to picture this, if I have to give you an image of how history would look like in my head, it would look like a monster, a black monster which has a very weird kind of teeth, and something which has a very weird face, something that I don't want to look at it, something I don't want to even think about it. And that would kind of an image would be there when I think about history. Now I'm talking about in the school days. And similarly, when I started unleashing about all the tasks that I would do, all the work that I would do, I realized that everything that I am doing or not doing, there is an image that is created inside my head. And my brain either likes that image or doesn't like the image. If the brain doesn't like the image, gives me a different emotion, give me a different feeling. And because of that, I either pick that task or a work to do, or I don't pick up the task. I just push it back. I don't want to do it. And it keeps on getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And uh, delaying any task or any work to some extent is okay. You can pick it up at your time, at your pace, at your interest, or maybe at your likingness. The problem happens when its impact is huge. If you are delaying your EMIs, if you are not if you're not paying the electricity bills and all, and that is getting delayed, there comes the penalties. Now that's a monetary loss, and that sometimes is a huge loss, and we don't realize it unless and until it hits us. Or if we are not nurturing the relationship, we don't take care of the relations, and we just ignore it, or we just take it for granted. Sometimes the relationship, the tiny hairline cracks that seeps into the relations, and sometimes it becomes deepened. And when it becomes deepened and comes in front of us like a valley, you don't realize that when did valley became. I thought it was a hairline crack, and I thought it will get over with time. Trust me, it has nothing to do with time. It has all to do with emotions. Similarly, your health. If we keep on delaying certain things, it doesn't affect now. But definitely, if we don't take care, we know that the health is going to get deteriorated over the years. And that impacts us, that affects us when it comes as a hit on our face. And the impact is huge. And all these things, if you go to the reverse engineering, you realize that it is only because I kept on delaying certain tasks. And the reason of delay was not that I don't have time, but that's a big illusion. You have time. We know that we can prioritize. But despite of all the techniques, all the abilities, we still don't do it. Why? We don't do it because of only one thing. We are positively not emotionally attached or associated with the task. Something negative is attached or associated with it. And the same thing is for procrastination. Something so negatively attached with the word procrastination, the moment I say a word and people will go, I am not a procrastinator, I don't procrastinate. But the reason is, but the fact is, you do. You do delay certain tasks, you don't take action on certain elements, and you keep on giving reasons to not the world, to yourself, and that happens many a times. So when I say procrastination is not a time management issue, it is an emotion management issue. The moment you start managing your emotions towards a particular task, towards a particular work or a project or an assignment or something to do with your life, you don't procrastinate anymore. You start just taking actions one by one, bit by bit, and you keep on progressing. Progressing, taking actions, looking at the growth is not about big things. It's all about small things. You keep on doing those small, small bits and you see the progress. Like a child who's born and in a year's time starts crawling or walking. And in 1 year's time, from 1 year to maybe 1 year, few months, it, it starts running. And that becomes a very fast growth. And that's only because of the progress, the tiny, tiny, small, small steps that you take. And that's what the development and the growth lies. So that's what happens when you want to remove procrastination. It's a lot to do with how you associate yourself with the task rather than taking in relation to the time that you have with yourself. Yes, Sanjay, if you have any questions to ask or if you wanted to know more, I'll be very happy to share.
So, consciously unconscious in the
Yeah.
present, and also procrastination is indecision in the present
Yeah.
with inaction in emotion.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
why do people procrastinate? Why do they take zero action when they have the ability to take action in the now?
Yeah.
Is it a state of mind? Because it is related to behavior, and
Yes.
behaviors don't lie. People say, let it be, I will see. And when you say why, there's an indecision creeping in, which is lack of surety, lack of commitment, lack of direction, and lack of knowledge how to take care of that situation in those moments.
Yeah.
So I call it one of the toxins in people, and they got to release it every single day.
Yeah.
Just like I say, complain, criticize, worry, and gossip. The fifth
Yeah.
is procrastination. In life, you got to take a decision to do or let it be. Don't be indecisive, I will let you know.
Yeah.
And this is what the whole world, in terms of leadership, in terms of business, in terms of life, is suffering from. I wish you could engage with all of them, teach
Yeah.
them that they need to work hard on making decisions now and have an emotional connect to those decisions so that you can get the results you are looking forward to. So very important. And the whole world stops when you procrastinate, especially
Yeah.
the government machinery. They delay every single action of theirs. And the result is lack of growth, and people lose interest in those activities which should have been done then and there. So, great subject, procrastination, and well said, Bharti. I only want you to look at what people need to do to get out of this zone as a habit, to create decision making now as a process of life, and to live that life and teach people, do it now or forget it. Don't be
Yeah.
like a pendulum.
Yeah.
So it's important. So what's your thought on that?
So to answer your question, I can see there are two questions that are very very relevant that you asked. Uh, First thing, why people procrastinate, and second, if they are procrastinating, how they can come out of this procrastination as a habit. Uh, First, I'll address the first one: why people procrastinate. People procrastinate for a simple reason, because when they are thinking about any task, when they are thinking about any work to do, when we say that they are not motivated enough, or when we say that they are not taking decision to do the task now, the reason, because when they think about the task, or when they think about a work, uh, there is probably they are thinking like it's a huge mountain, and there's a mountain and they need to climb the mountain, and they are maybe standing at the foothill of the mountain, and when they look up they see, oh my god, it's a huge mountain. How will I climb this mountain? And if I have to climb, I need to have right skills, I need to have right knowledge, I need to have some guide or somebody who can teach me how to do it. And because of that, it will require a different set of energy. They'll say, okay, I don't want to do it. Let me sit on it. Let me see when is the right time to do it, or when somebody would push me. And if I have no choice, and if there's a tiger behind me, probably I'll just climb it however I want. So that's the reason people procrastinate. In their head, they they have an image of the work as a very big, huge thing, and hence they don't do it. So the drive is missing. The inner drive that they want to work towards it is missing. Maybe a small task, like in this pandemic phase,
Yeah.
everybody is now doing household work. Everybody has to do these tasks at home, helping each other, and also nurturing the relationship, because 24 by 7 we all are together, which was never the case. In my case, I would travel 10 to 15 days, or sometimes 20 days a month. And now we all are here in the same house 24 by 7. It's been 4 5 months. So everybody is being given the task, or they choose their task and they do it. And sometimes when they don't do it, the reason is because they either think the task is too boring, again the association, or the task is too difficult for me to do it, or the task is too easy for me to do it. So in whichever way, the task is not happening, or the
Hmm.
work is not done. And same is for the corporates, for the companies. When team members, when they don't do any particular work, how they associate themselves with the work. Are they motivated enough to do it? Do they really like it? Is it something that appeals their style of doing things, or is it something that it's by no choice but they are doing it? So that's the reason number one. The another question that you asked, and I would simply put it this way: how they can come out of this procrastination. A simple way of doing it is change the picture. Change the picture that you have about that task, about that work, or about a person that is, and you just do it. Yeah. Yes, Sanjay. You have
Yeah,
a
I
question.
think we lost your voice towards the end a little bit. There was a lag in your internet. That's okay.
Oh,
So I have a question. You spoke about the current situations at home after pandemic, and we are locked from last few months 24/7. And it's and you're also relations strategic specialist. Okay, you have seen people very closely. I do also have some clients who come about, and there have been cases in open after this lockdown situation.
yeah, yeah,
Now, to be blunt enough, not like a feminist, but there is always a challenge that the Indian men, especially, do not really work at home. Right. And
yeah,
we have seen the increase in domestic violence. we have seen the increase in relationships falling apart,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
What now we have to, as a expert, you have to balance it out between both.
Yeah.
What will be your advice for the female, the women who are facing this? And what is the advice for the men, whoever are listening to us right now or may listen to us future, that they are procrastinating? Definitely they are.
Yeah.
So, what is the expert advice to both of them, especially from the relationship perspective?
Okay. Uh, from the relationship perspective, I look at it in only one way. I look at it this way.
Yeah,
Whenever there are issues in relationships, and it goes to either the next level, which is a little grave level,
yeah,
and whether it is corporates or any kind of environment that you are in, if you are not clear about who you are, what's your identity, you will allow or you will let things happen to yourself.
yes,
If you are clear about who you are, it will not help, it will not affect, or if you won't allow anyone to do it. So during the pandemic phase where everybody is together, and I completely agree with you, Sanjay, there are a lot of cases where the domestic violence has increased because people are at home, and the responsibilities, the task has been divided. But yes, because people have never done that, people have never felt the need of shouldering that responsibilities. Obviously the entire impact comes on either one or two family members, and that has created an imbalance between the families, that has created imbalance between relationships.
mm,
And because of that imbalances, there are two things that we can do. Either we express, we communicate very very assertively and in a very openly to the family members that this is what is happening, this is what I'm feeling, and this is how it is. Also accepting the fact that there are other family members who have not done the task ever, so you need to give some time, some space. And that is very important in a relationship. You need to respect and trust people in a relationship, that if you are doing that, then only things will happen bit by bit. You can't expect in next
right.
hour to do it. And when you are suffering from any kind of violence or abuses in the family, you need to understand one thing. What is it that you think about yourself in your head? Do you think about yourself as a housewife, or as a member of the family, or as a daughter-in-law, as a mother, or as an individual who just here to do a task? What is the identity that you are carrying? What is it that you have inside you? If you think that you have certain meaning, if you're a woman and you really want to work towards it, you will not allow anything to happen. And by not allowing doesn't mean that you also become violent. You don't need to do that. All you
True.
have to do is just stand or sit, and in a comfortable environment, face it and share it. And that's enough for everybody to listen. There's nobody in this world who would not listen to it. So that's what the best we can do.
So the advice is for the both is
Yeah.
communicate, open the channels, communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sanjay,
Communicate
what
it
has
well
happened
enough
is,
to understand each other's point, the
Yeah.
stand where they are, and parallelly you have to give some space also.
Yeah. So when you are communicating, say for example, when I communicate with my family members, I notice and observe what are their triggers. So when I'm using certain words, is
Yes.
my word triggering their emotion? Is
Yes.
my way of saying impacting, or they are putting up into a reactive mode? If that is what is happening, that's a feedback for me. And the next
Hmm.
learning is, okay, so let me hold my word, let me change my voice and the way I speak, and maybe put it in some different manner.
Yeah.
So so that's how we communicate, because the more you understand somebody else's triggers, the more you understand how people are reacting towards your communication. It'll be easier for you to, during the, when you are building a rapport, and when you are in a rapport, you are stating what you want to state.
True. True.
and that becomes an easier communication then.
And is this, we spoke about relationships and we also touched upon the corporate. In the corporate we had a different environment and we had different pressures. And
Yeah,
though now people are working from home,
yeah,
and now the load from maybe the corporate people. I was in corporate for almost 20 years, 8 years. I used to say,
uh-huh,
it's not about 8 hour job. We are working almost 16 hours.
yeah,
And today, work from home is officially on, and everybody seems to be working 29 hours. That is
yeah,
also one of the challenges, and especially when both husband and wife are in corporate life. So, my question is both are trying to handle, but as an
yeah.
expert, what would be the parenting advice to such parents? Because we have to appreciate that children are the most obedient. I feel that in this pandemic, that actually they have never stepped out.
That's true.
They
That's
The
really
biggest
true.
credit I think has to be given to the kids night now. They're the most disciplined lot. I have seen a lot of adults, a lot of seniors violating the social distancing and all those things, but kids reminding their parents, why are you going out? Are you maintaining social distances? Right? And they're
Yeah,
stuck inside. But
yeah,
if we are procrastinating as a father or a mother, it is impacting the child at home. They're learning from home.
yeah.
I always
That's true.
believe that education comes from school or institute, but the learning is at home. The
Yeah.
knowledge comes from the institute. The real education comes from home. So, what is advice to such parents in those situations?
Sanjay, I think you have touched a very, very essence of today's time, where the pandemic has is already there, and both the parents are working. They are in corporate environment, and because working from home, it was an illusion that if you work from home, you have less hours because the travel time is cut off. But in reality, it is not. You are
It's
right;
not.
it is more hours. And children, yes, they are the most obedient because they have never stepped out, and they are uh, abiding by everything that parents are saying. Now, in
Mm,
such environment, if parents are procrastinating on certain tasks, certain
mm,
elements, obviously children are in the same environment as well. So what you do is what is being seen, what you say
yes.
is what is being heard, and children learn the same thing. So if when a child in your house is doing something, it's a reminder for me that it is my reflection and not the child's behavior. So I
Mm,
should not be upset with the child's behavior, but I should reflect upon what is it that I did or said, and hence the behavior in the child. Now,
exactly.
during that phase, when the parents are working and the children are also there, and there are these habits that are forming or it's already there, to keep it very simple, uh, every day what we do is, because the pandemic hit everybody, it hit my family as well. So what we started doing is, from very beginning, we started maintaining a very open conversation and involving even my younger daughter, who's
Yeah.
9 year old. So having a very open conversation about what is the workload we have, what kind of work that we are doing, what are the working hours that we need to pay attention to, and not entering into details about the work, but at least educating them and keeping them informed about what is the work environment that looks like, and
Mm,
also conversing with them, telling them sometimes that this is my space, this is my time, I need it, there are certain tasks to be done, so I would not like to be disturbed. So when you start creating that kind of space, the child understands. Now and that's where I started drawing the boundaries, because it's the same environment, same room, where one parent is sitting in one corner and attending the office meetings. In the another corner, you have another parent doing it, and there are children who wants to play. There are children who wants to do certain other task, and they keep on
yeah.
bothering you because
Mm,
they will need your attention. They want you to do something with them. So right from the beginning, we had an open conversation of keeping everything uh, into space. So we have a whiteboard in our house, and I started putting down everything on the whiteboard, right from what task we will do in the individual's capacity to where my space is. So I literally physically showed the space, that this is the space of that, this is my space of work, and
Wow.
we started naming that space. I said, this is my adda and this is where I sit, and that is dad's, so that is where dad sits, and now you decide where do you want to do your work. And then she
Okay.
chose, okay, I want to do this way. I said, oh, so that is your corner and we won't disturb, and we respect that. So those kind of some physical changes that we did, we really changed the furniture as well, so that we can
Mhm.
accommodate all these elements. So when we started changing and we started having an open conversation, and trust me,
Mhm.
Sanjay, all the days were not same. So
No.
whenever few days where there are certain reactions in the family, once the reactions are over, because when the person is in a reactive state, let's not uh, do anything with the person. Once the reactions are over, we would sit and talk. And the
Yes.
simple thing is simple, asking 2 to 3 questions. How do you feel now? And what is it that you want to do? Simple.
Okay.
So the moment we started asking these questions, and one promise that we made was we will not go back to the past and saying you did that, and hence it
Yes.
happened. Let's not open the past. Let's talk about now. What is it that we want to do now? And that probably made the communication very easy and very open, because children started learning, picking up those expression of thoughts and emotions, and
Right.
that's how we
That
started doing.
understood.
So I think it's a great example. You all planned how to live these 4 months. That is why we can see happiness on your face. Those people, those families, those people who did not plan, and I've been sharing this thought, you have to get out of chaos to control your life. You
Yeah.
have to get out of confusion to clarity in your life, because the new normal has set in. So accept it and work around it. Create a new you in this
Yeah.
new environment. So what requires is patience and tolerance, not anger
True.
and frustration. You could
Yeah.
control that because all four of you were in sync that this is the way we need to live, and each one needs to have his or her own space,
Please.
his or her own time, and be disciplined so that we can all love, stay together, and be happy. A perfect example. I wish a lot of people should listen to this
True.
broadcast once again. Those people who are having fights, those people who are having anger, those people are unable to tolerate each other, and those people
Mm.
who don't listen to each other
Hmm. Hmm.
are going
True.
through a bad patch. So, Sanjay, I wish you could share a million recordings of this today to the world, that they need to learn how to live together, because you have not stayed at home for 4 months without moving out of home. You do not know the joys of staying together.
Yeah.
Whereas you are talking about what are you missing, what are you gaining, is what you need to look at.
Yeah.
And Bharti, perfect example. So much you have gained, and I promise you, your children will remember you for years to come,
Yes.
and they will share with your great grandchildren. You know, your great grandmother lived through these 5 months, and we were so happy. It's a perfect example. You have created a great example, and I'm proud of you. And I've
Thank
learned so
you.
much from your commitment to work on yourself, to work the family around you. And I'm sure those who are listening to this great session today will be wondering, why did we not do what Bharti has done? And they will learn, and in future I'm sure they're going to take all the leaves from your flower and plant it at their place. Well
Wow.
done. Proud of you, dear.
Thank you.
Love you
Thank you.
and love your family. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harish, for this encouragement. Because when I look back, starting from March when we had this pandemic thing, initial days we were also struggling how to do it, but then we sat and we did everything together. In fact, our wedding anniversary also came during this time, and
Oh,
children surprised us by giving us a fine dining with a French cuisine, starting from giving us an entree to main and to the dessert, and it was so perfectly crafted. I mean, I couldn't believe that these girls have done this for us. It was
wow.
in our room. They set up the entire dining space with candlelight dinner, and they served us like we have it in a five-star hotel. It was no less than that.
Wow.
So it was
Beautiful.
really amazing. So those moments that probably would have never experienced if this phase would have not come. And
I agree with you, Bharti, because
Perfect.
most of us have created such beautiful memories as well during this challenging times. And the biggest learning for all of us is about the family time.
yes.
Sanjay, I want to share here to you.
Yes, sir.
My daughter and my son in law came for Holi
Hmm.
and they could not go back because of this.
Oh,
And they have been with us since then. And you know what happened? Every single Sunday, they cook meals for us. And for all these Sundays, I learned that my son in law and my daughter, they live in Bangalore, they created such great cuisines for us. We took pictures and posted on Instagram. And even today, we had Kashmiri food today. They
wow.
all made it and they have learned this skill during this Sunday, and we are so delighted, and we want them to stay forever. But they have to go maybe probably next week onwards. But these memories are going to last forever.
True, true.
And this is a great thing which has happened to me, my family. Same like Bharti, they have come around beautifully. And I'm sure that a lot of families around the world who have come together, become so close during this, they would remember this and cherish this for a long, long time. Well done. Beautiful. Great.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so that's we are already right in time. Actually, we are about to close. So, Bharti, it was so nice to have you on the show today. And procrastinating is such a topic that more we speak, lesser it is.
Yeah.
I knew it is something to do with we not being decisive, we not taking action at the right time. It's about now, it is not about later. But today you gave it more insight into it. It is perhaps just short of like a disease.
Yeah.
It is inside you, and we need to get in touch with the right specialist, right experts, and take care of the procrastination, which will definitely work, help us in our relationships, be it in office, be it at personal level, marital level, or even the children. So thank you very much for your time today and giving us a lot of insight into it. It was wonderful hosting you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
were
you so
blessed
much,
today,
Sanjay.
and I'm sure everyone who was listening enjoyed and will remember this conversation for a long, long time. God bless you,
Definitely.
Bharti. Keep sharing
Thank you.
your message to the world and
I
keep
will.
growing the people. They need you more now than they ever needed you. That's our blessing, and go ahead and conquer the world. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Harish,
Yeah.
for all these
My
immense work. Yeah,
my
please.
last question to you is Bharti, if people have to reach you, how will they reach you? You're based out of Mumbai.
I'm based out of
No,
Baroda,
you're based
Gujarat.
out of Gujarat. Fantastic.
Yes, I'm based out of Baroda, and I'm
Baroda.
there on LinkedIn. Uh, they can they can connect me on LinkedIn. They can just type Bharti Naik, relation strategist, and I'll be there. On Facebook, they can connect with me. My email ID is bhartinaik at bhartinaik.com. So they can email me, they can write me. and I'll be there.
Fantastic. So, audience, if you have to connect with Bharti, she is more than happy to connect with you back. The easiest and the fastest way is connect on LinkedIn. Those who are not on LinkedIn can still connect with her on Facebook. She is available. Bharti is based out of Gujarat, Baroda, Gujarat, very much in Indian time zone for the people who are in India and people who are listening and watching us out of India. Please connect with her. She's always willing to help you out. Thank you, Bharti, for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, closing comments from your side.
That was awesome, man. I'm sure she has moved a lot of lives and she is on a mission. And I'm proud
Mhm.
to have known her, grow her, seen her grow in the last couple of years. And the way she is going to convey the message to the world is going to be superb. She's been
Superb.
doing it across the country and out of the country. And I wish that people listen to her and imbibe in their own self by creating that discipline in self and take action in the moment and remove the word procrastinate to use the word I take decisions every moment in my life. And life is good, and it was a good experience for me as well as all the people who listened to her. And it was an honor to host her today on our
Yes.
platform and looking forward to create more people who will come to our platform and share their experiences and their joy and help grow people by teaching them so that they can grow leaps and bounds in life. Proud to share the new you to the people of the world and looking forward for another great episode next Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time also and availability on every Sunday at 4 p.m. It's always a pleasure to have you along with me. Thank you, sir.
My honor, and I am blessed to be a part of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, thank you, viewers. That was the topic today, procrastination, with an relations expert, Bharti Naik, who spoke very well about what it is. For me, it was a big learning. And those who have been watching us today silently and in future, I will request you, please be more interactive. The experts are there. It makes more productive sessions when you are asking the questions live. Next week, I am back on Sunday at 4 p.m., available on Facebook as well as YouTube on the official channel of Ursula's Consulting. We are expanding, we are across countries, and so is the panel of experts reaching us to be with us. We are already getting booked for the next month and the month after that. So that is the pace, that is the love, that is the support we are getting from all of you beautiful people. So keep watching, take care of yourself, and God bless.